14, Arthur Schwartz. And the libero for Team Canada's number 18, Justin Louis. Head coach for Canada,
Check. Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ha. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2023 Men's NORCECA Continental Championship from here at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center in Charleston, West Virginia. My name is Everett DeLorme, joined as always by my partner in crime, Mr. Rob St. Clair, for the first match here of this Continental Championship between Canada and the Dominican Republic. And Rob, I'm excited to get going here.
This is it, boys and girls. Welcome to Volleyball Source. Welcome to your exclusive home for the entire 2023 NORCECA Championship Tournament. And I think Canada has just realized that we may have balked a bit on the starting time. We are 4 minutes early.
Yeah.
Starting in the tournament early. Everyone's ready to go.
Yeah, a little interesting. I'm not entirely sure, as a protocol is important for these things. You can't just get things going whenever you want, all willy-nilly. So that's why we're even a little bit rushed. As I was surprised, at a certain point as things were coming down, I was looking at the clock and looking at the time, and be like, we're gonna be a little early here, but it doesn't really matter. Does give us a good chance here to preview this match a little bit. Match number 1 here at the NORCECA Championship. Of course, my Maple Volleys taking on the Dominican Republic, and this will be the first match of Pool A. Pool A only with 3 teams: Canada, Dominican Republic, and Mexico.
And coming up later on this evening, 2 matches in Group B. First, Cuba versus Puerto Rico. Second, the United States versus Suriname. A group of 4 there, combined with this group of 3 to make 7 teams total. One of those teams will be crowned the Kings of North America. And Canada, Everett, plenty to talk about with this team. First year under head coach Thomas Samelvuo. He won Champions League gold this year. He won Olympic silver 2 years ago. He's bringing a very different and sort of more European style to this Canadian national team as they make a push to get a berth in their 3rd straight Olympic Games. Right now, their world ranking, what are we looking at earlier, 17th in the world?
17th.
They've got work to do, and it starts in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Every point matters here in this new FIVB Olympic qualification process and ranking system. So every game you win or lose is going to be plus or minus points. So every match matters. Of course, Canada, one of those top teams that will be heading to the Olympic qualifying tournament in just a few weeks. But they have a lot of work to do here, first and foremost, to get on the podium and potentially get into that final match, which we were assuming is going to be either against Cuba or the USA. But
we would certainly think so.
That's why we play sports sometime. You gotta play it out to figure it out.
Like we like to say, the matches are played on the court, not on paper.
Yeah, very interesting start here to this tournament. Gotta say, shout out to USAV. This court looks great.
It's fantastic.
Love the colors. Love the red around the multicolored court. You got the red, white, and blue. Rob, I know you have a thing about always needing red, white, and blue in American jerseys.
Agreed.
It's present here on the court.
I do like that. Yeah, I do not like the all red American jersey. That is a conversation for another time.
But speaking of good design karma, I think we need to give some early shout out here to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, those are
for
sweet.
some good jersey karma going on right now. Those are some tight threads. Love the gradient from blue to red to blue on the different jerseys. As we see their captain and Henry Tapia having a chat with the referee here, as we're basically ready to go. Like there's no delay other than the fact that it is not 3 o'clock yet Eastern time. So when it's a 59 local, Henry Tapia.
All ready to go. We got a best of 5 matchup, just 1-4. Rally score 25. The set number 5 required. Rally score 15.
Right here, finally going to be underway here. Ren Arredondo getting us started in her first set, going to Hogue. That'll be off the block. Picked up by the Dominican Republic. First set to the outside, down the line. Nicely handled. And a net violation there, looks like, on Danny Demyanenko.
Net violation there for Canada to start off their tournament. Not ideal.
No, Arredondo serving now, and outside there to Schwartz as he starts on the opposite there for Canada. Just nice, easy over the top.
Interesting project is Arthur Schwartz, switching from the middle blocker position to the opposite only in the last couple years. How good can he be on the left side in rotation 1? A difficult skill for opposites, much less converted middle blockers. He gets a kill there.
Hogue opting for the float serve this time around. That's going to be chased down. Tapia with his first swing of the tournament is shut down. And Rob, we might as well tell the people now, the offense of the Dominican Republic runs through that man right there, Henry Tapia. He is their captain and their leading scorer. He is going to be lethal from the baseline. A little bit undersized, though, on the international level, but has a live arm as Hogue serve finds the net there. So we are going to be saying his name a lot, not only today, but throughout the rest of this tournament.
Absolutely. He's broken several NORCECA serving records, scoring records. And we'll see him from the service line in just a moment.
Nicely handled there by Louis. It's going to go outside to Mar. He delays quickly, and that's going to be kept alive. And it looks going to be a lift called there as Hernandez just dumped that over for the Dominican Republic.
Is that a center line fault or a lift, or what happened there?
I think they called it a lift, but it was just kind of ugly all around there by the Dominican. As Demyanenko heads back to serve, the former McMaster Marauder. Left off the roster for Team Canada all of last year, but has come back with a vengeance this summer and is consistently one of Canada's best players throughout the VNL as that swing goes wide.
Another important thing to point out, Everett, for this NORCECA Championship tournament, no video challenges. We've got 2 officials, 4 line judges. If they don't spot a block touch, there was none. No challenges in this event.
Demyanenko with another serve going after Hernandez. Now Tapia on the right side is shut down, but that's kept alive. Hernandez again with the half speed. Van Berkel tracks that down well. Hernandez for the 3rd time shut down, in the block of Canada very live in this early goings here as Van Berkel had 3 block touches there.
That is a gigantic 2-man block. Lucas Van Berkel and Arthur Schwartz as big as you could ask for. Burks 210, Schwartz 209. That is international size.
Demyanenko there into the net.
Decent run there from Danny Demyanenko. Everett, you called him Canada's best and most consistent player through the VNL, and I agree with you, especially a year after largely being left off the roster. Good to see Danny back playing well.
Nicely handled there by Mar. The run in the 31, Van Berkel, but that's picked up in the back row. Oh, and that's too bad. That's Rosario, the middle blocker, with the double touch. It's too bad. Arredondo did a good job to get that ball down.
First ball handling error call of the tournament. That one was pretty bad. We'll see how kind of the gauge on what is fair game as far as ball handling goes.
Served there by Arthur Schwartz into the net.
And here's the man. Here is Henry Tapia, his first chance at the service line, already a 2-point hole. Let's see who he targets. Got Justin Louis at libero in position 1 and some seams, maybe between Hogue and Mar.
Goes right at Hogue, and that's an overpass. So a chance here for Dominican to trap out a point, but Cruz's swing is slowed down. Now Schwartz on the opposite. He finds the line nicely, and Arthur Schwartz's second kill, but that's the first time we really see him on the right side. Looking good. Nice swing down the line.
That is gorgeous range for number 14 in white out of the back row. High hard wrist away. His contact point might be higher than anybody else in this tournament.
Mar now going back to Monza in the Italian Superlega this year and does it all on that one, puts the serve in and the swing out of the backcourt, goes off the block and out of bounds.
Love that set choice from relatively new setter for Canada, Luke Herr. Stephen Marr from the service line got you that overpass. Reward him by setting him the ball on the free ball opportunity.
It's going to go outside to Hernandez, and Hernandez, I think he's someone that we're going to have to keep an eye on. He's quite big over there on the left side. Does a good job there to chop that one off the block of Herr and out of bounds. And we've talked a little bit about how the offense of the Dominican Republic really runs through Tapia. If they can get one other player going, especially on that opposite pin, it'll really open up some court for them as Hernandez puts that one into the net. 8-9-5 now for Canada.
Men's volleyball, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes the return on the investment of aggressive serving produces some missed serves and free points.
Van Berkel now. Oh, no, that is going to be a timeout there called by the Dominican Republic. Each team from Pool A will only play one match per day. Mexico has the day off. Tomorrow, Dominican will have the day off. And then on Thursday, Canada will have the day off. 4 teams in Pool B. Each of those teams will be playing every day. Come back from this timeout. It's going to be Van Berkel at the baseline. Mishandled there by the libero. Tapia out of the back row, kept alive by the Dominican. Now outside to Cruz. Nice dig there by Van Berkel. Hogue. Oh, puts that one, and that's the veteran play there by Nick Hogue. He's been on this team for about 13 years and is able to find the corner on that one.
Nick Hogue going back once again to the Turkish Club League this year to play for his father, Glenn, who led Team Canada for many years.
A little bit forced there by Arendando. And Demyanenko gets his first swing of the match. Canada pulling away early in this one, 12-5.
Love that give and go play there to Demyanenko, who passed that first ball. Middle should be a pretty good matchup this week, and especially in this match for Canada.
It's going to be outside now to Cruz.
Wow.
And that was a nice swing down the line by Hector Cruz. Hung in the air, waiting for it, shot down the line. Herr couldn't handle it.
Hung for a long time. I think the blockers jumped with the attacker and weren't able to hang as long as Cruz did in the air before that kill down the line. Ooh, a standing float serve. Look at that. And a standing float service ace. You don't see that every day.
No, not often. 18. Moses Ortiz standing at 6'8", but he looks tall. That's a tall 6'8".
It is.
I feel like usually you add a couple inches on the roster, but it seems to me like they've kept a couple off with him as just on 2.
Option ball.
Stephen Marr.
Love it. I love the option ball. And you saw Dominican Republic there with a great look in transition off a block touch, which was basically a free ball. And the offensive misconnection had to just send it back over. That's definitely a missed opportunity. Canada made him pay.
Luke Herr's first serve. Let's see if he's added any heat to his. Put it in nicely. And that one's going to be off the block there by Cruz. And so far, Dominican doing a really good job at spreading out that offense. We haven't really seen them go through the middle quite that much, but quite a bit of volume to the left side to both Cruz and Hernandez. You know, we've seen so many times Tapia score 30-point games in the pool play. And then as things continue on, he kind of peters out as Nick Hogue goes back door there.
That is a lot of space for Nick Hogue on the right side.
A lot of space. He's going to kill that ball 10 out of 10 times.
A serve. Nick Hogue finds a seam, wide open space.
I mean, he's been known for that. He's got the shoulder on him. Remember back in his Perugia days, I'm sure Blue Bay fans still have nightmares about him coming off the bench to go serve for the Block Devils. Of course, playing professionally.
Is that 2 in a row? Yes, it is.
Look at that. Nick Hogue playing professionally in Arkas Izmir for his dad and the Turkish Efola Ligi. 16-8. Canada currently doubled up, and that's going to force head coach Jose Gutierrez of the Dominican to call his second timeout.
16-8. Very good start for Canada. I'm interested about Nick Hogue serving. Started off that first time with a couple float serves, including missing one. And then maybe made a decision, maybe got some feedback, just let it rip. Go for the jump spinner and rips 2 aces in a row.
Absolutely, especially with Canada. They've got a number of guys who float serve. And I think Nick Hogue has to be one of those guys that when things are going well, he has to just go back there and give it a nice chew. Take a nice chuck at it and just pound away, especially against a team like the Dominican Republic where maybe that experience isn't there, and you can just really put them on their heels and serve receive and inside out with a good strong spin serve.
If Canada can serve the ball really well this tournament, and especially in pool play, they're going to have a lot of success. They have the weapons, but can they find that ace-to-error ratio that Coach Shemelvo is looking for? Not a great pass there.
Oh, wow. Love that run out of the pipe there by Nick Hogue. Her to Hogue, that was absolutely beautiful.
Very nice. Again, you reward the guy who put pressure on the other team and got you a transition chance. Hogue applied the service pressure. Her fed him the ball.
That's twice now that Her's gone right back to the server. And an overpass there is put away by Stephen Marr. A 10-point lead now by Canada.
18-8. The service firepower is coming in a lot of different ways for the Maple Volleys right now. And I was just about to ask, do we see a change from the Dominican Republic in reception? And we do. Number 8, Henry Lopez, in for Wilfredo Hernandez at outside hitter in position 5 back there right now.
Hogue kind of going everywhere at the serve that time, going to position 1 at Cruz, and Cruz does a very good job to go high off the hands there, and so far pretty impressed here by Hector Cruz on the outside. A couple of good swings in tight, and he's going high off the hands.
1.87 meters and going over a block of that size. That is a springy individual.
Oh, big serve then again by Cruz. Oh, by Demyanenko. Beautiful pass there by Justin Louis to get things going, and Demyanenko puts that one down.
I was going to say the same thing. Excellent pass by Justin Louis. Ball to deflect it off the tape. He adjusts and puts it right on Luke Herr's head. And now a 10-point lead for Canada. No reason for Demyanenko not to really go after this.
Nice pass. Oh, and that one looked like it was going to drop in, so good take by the Dominican, but Tapia is just going to have to put that one over. Free ball opportunity, and Van Berkel just goes over the top of Rosario. Out of bounds. 20-9 now for Canada.
Another offensive missed connection for Dominican Republic off a pretty decent chance. Tapia just had to stay on the floor, send it over. That is too many missed chances that could produce offense.
100%. In that scenario, Arredondo just needs to get the ball into a hittable position for Tapia. High inside the court is best, but that one was a little too tight. Oh, and that chip into the block is unable to be recycled there by Lopez.
Good discipline blocking there from Canada. Not a bad shot by Henry Lopez off the bench. That was supposed to be hit softly into the block and covered by his teammates, but the coverage was not there.
2 blocks early here for Canada, led by Hogue with 5 points. Demyanenko with a pair himself as he pops that one into the net.
Ten serving 21. Luther Rosario, middle blocker. 20 years of age, number 15 in blue and red back at the service line.
Nicely handled there by Mar. They're going to go high to the opposite, and Schwartz just swings away, so it's easily tracked down there by the Dominican. Another high set to the middle, easily picked up by Louis. Schwartz again goes down the line. That's a great dig. Kept alive by the Dominican Republic. Now they go to the opposite pin, and Stephen Marr makes no doubt. He puts that off the block of Ortiz and out of bounds, but some good defense there on the 2 swings by Schwartz by the Dominican Republic side.
Good block defense there from Dominican Republic. Definitely a couple good touches. And now we have what I call a delayed 6-2. So we're going to have Jordan Canham, the backup opposite, into the front court for Luke Kerr. Right now, no setter on the floor here for Canada, but we will see Brett Walsh when or if Arthur Schwartz is done serving.
Oh, just absolutely shut the door. We had the perfect angle for that. Tapia had nowhere to go. Maybe would have liked to see a little bit of a high swing to go high off the hands, but nowhere to go for Henry Tapia.
Canada is built to potentially be a very good blocking team, and with a lot of the size that they have, maybe this is the tournament that unlocks that for them. Service pressure helps.
Service pressure just like that as Schwartz pinned that one. Oh, Lucas Van Berkel. They read that one perfectly. That was actually a back row violation, but up to the task was Canada's block. Unfortunately, won't be a block on the stat sheet for Van Berkel, which is always too bad. You know, I would just give it to him.
Just give it to him.
Just give it to him.
And remember when I said when or if Schwartz stops serving, Brett Walsh will come in. But here's Arthur Schwartz serving for the set.
Ah, you jinxed him.
My bad. That is the textbook commentator's curse right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now, sure enough, here is Brett Walsh to get Canada one side out of Henry Tapia's serve, and set 1 is theirs.
Of course, the former. This is funny. I'm going to call this from now on the Golden Bears switch, because you're bringing in 2 Alberta Golden Bears in on this double sub between Canham and Brett Walsh.
I like that. Ball may have been going out of bounds.
Set tight there by Louis. Well picked up by Van Berkel. He'll dump it to the other side to Marr, who swings it cross court through the hands, off the hands of Tapia, and out of bounds. And Canada makes quick work of set number 1. They take it 25-11.
Canada really pulled away there with some service pressure, a good handful of aces, but also those poor passes from Dominican Republic that were still alive turned into good blocking opportunities for Canada. A big confidence-building first set there.
Yeah, absolutely. They played some real clean volleyball, and sometimes when you're playing a team that maybe not up to your level, you have the tendency to kind of take a bit of a rest and play to a level. Not the case for Team Canada in the first set here.
Canada has a lot to play for. If they want any hope of qualifying for the Olympics, they will have to do it in one of 2 ways, and this goes for every team in the picture. They'll have to either take top 2 in their group at the Olympic qualifier tournament in a couple weeks in early October, or they will have to have a high enough world ranking by the end of next year's Volleyball Nations League to get in past the teams who are already qualified. So a lot on the line for Canada, and with the new FIVB system, every single match counts for world ranking. It matters the set score, it matters the ranking of your opponent, and Canada right now needing some help at ranking 17. They will get more points if they were to win this match 3-0 versus 3-1 or 3-2, for example.
Absolutely. Literally every point.
Every point. Every point on the court matters. So I was about to ask, Everett, does the Dominican Republic go and make any changes here? But I'm not sure what solutions they might be able to have. I think they just need to pass the ball a little bit better and give their hitters more chances. It's like they weren't even able to produce any real volleyball inside out that whole set.
I mean, hey, let's be honest. Their coach talked about it in the pre-tournament pressers that there is three different tiers of tournament here. As Rob fanboys over Micah Christensen as he comes over to say hi. There's 3 different tiers of this tournament. With he fully admits there's the 3 VNL teams in the USA, Canada, and the USA, and then there's that next tier, Puerto Rico, Mexico, and the Dominican. So for the Dominican Republic, they're getting ready for those big matches for them against Mexico and Dominican Republic. Realistically, for those 3 teams, it's who can finish 4th, right? Who can have a shot at a semifinal? Who can have a shot for a bronze medal potentially? I'm not saying that it's guaranteed to happen, but that's quite possibly what's going to be the scenario. So I think for a team like Dominican Republic. You just keep what's on the court. You make a few adjustments. You let your players get used to this pace of play because they're not used to this level of play.
Completely agree. A very good week, by the way, for the Dominican Republic Volleyball Federation with their women. Las Reinas del Caribe, as they call
shout
them,
out to them.
Winning the Women's NORCECA Championship in Quebec City on Sunday, beating the United States in 5. So a very good week for Dominican volleyball. See what their men can do this week to follow it up. I'm looking at the Team Canada side, Everett, and what I'm seeing right now, we don't have the lineups in officially. I thought we saw Jordan Schnitzer there for a second, but I think he's walking back to the bench. Looks like the same exact group for the Maple Volleys.
Yep, to be expected. You know, I would expect him to see them use a few different lineups here throughout pool play, but maybe not necessarily make any in-game substitutions.
On the Dominican Republic side, we do have Henry Lopez getting the start, number 8 in blue and red at outside hitter over Wilfredo Hernandez. So it'll be Lopez and Hector Cruz at outside hitters as Dominican Republic is going to start receiving in rotation 1. That's really interesting.
Yes, very interesting. I mean, it is a little interesting, but at the same time, it does allow you to have Tapia as an option right off the bat.
True. Yeah,
right?
you want him as many front court rotations immediately as
it may be in that rotation of rotation 6, where or rotation 2 would it be?
Well, you could start in rotation 6 and then side out and get him to the front left position. That's what a lot of teams do who are receiving. But maybe Dominican wants to get a tricky rotation out of the way right away. When we say rotation 1, we mean that one rotation out of the 6 where the outside hitter and the opposite switch which wing they attack on. So Tapia, the opposite number 1, is on the left. Cruz, the outside hitter in front of the setter there, is going to attack on the right. Sometimes teams can struggle with their wing hitters hitting a bit out of position to side out this row. And another important part of that equation is who is serving against it.
Absolutely. It looks like we have some scoreboard issues here in this first tournament. Oh, and it looks like things are
the first match issues aren't just the broadcast, it's the scorers table as well, people.
Yeah. I would say I would say most of the scores table.
Most of the scores table.
The Dominican women, Chad Travnik, the Dominican women did beat the United States on Sunday night in Quebec City.
Everett was there.
In this exact same event. Absolutely, I was there before heading down for this event. And I have to say, a lot of credit goes to the Dominican women. They played fantastic. And that's a team that, you know, they've participated in a number of Olympic Games now, and over the course of the past decade, they've really established themselves as the queens of the Caribbean, the Reinas del Caribe.
Pronouncing it like it's French. Close enough.
Yeah, sorry. My Spanish does sound a little bit of like French, as Nick Hogue, the one Quebecois-born player on this Team Canada team, gets us off underway here for set number 2 is Cruz. I liked that look. Not working out, though, as that one falls out of bounds. 1-0 Canada.
I am a huge fan of the wrist-away swing by a right-hander on the right side to try and hit that sideline. Unfortunately, it's a very critical angle, and if you miss it by a tiny bit, too much wrist-away spin, it's out of bounds like that one.
Oh, and picking up where they left off, Danny Nebyanenko shuts the door.
I like that read from Stephen Marr a lot, getting out quick, sort of expecting the repeat set, even off a pass that was a little bit further from the right sideline. Nice move.
And it's funny, you know, we talked about them starting in this rotation to release Tapia, but so far, 4 sets by the Dominican Republic, none going to the left side of the court to Henry Tapia, as Stephen Marr just dumps that one over. Now back to the right side, and Cruz, that's going to be rolled over but knocked down. More scramble. Tapia now gets his first swing, and he was nowhere near ready for that. A little bit of disorganization there on this side of the court for the Dominican Republic. They may look good in their jerseys, but they didn't look good in that play.
And this is exactly why I question the decision to start receiving in rotation 1. Already giving up a 3-point run to Nick Hogue. This will have to be Tapia here.
Yeah, high ball to the outside, and that big 3-man block with Demianenko sandwiched by Marr and Schwartz just gives Tapia nowhere to swing, trying to go off the block, but instead puts it out of bounds. 4-0 for Canada. And this is exactly what head coach Thomas Semedevuo wants to see from his squad. Oh, and that one, yeah, there we go. Calling the lift there on Rosario.
I really like that change-up serve a lot by Nick Hogue. There's a lot of traffic, a lot of movement going on on the Dominican side right now with receiving in rotation 1. Like the setter, Arredondo, has to run all the way from the back right corner up to the net, and there's just a lot of movement, so putting a serve in short can create a lot of problems.
There we go. Dominican gets one over the Canadian side, but now it's going to be Stephen Marr who's going to roll it over the top, handled by Arredondo. Now outside to Cruz. Goes out the block of Marr, and that's nicely slowed down. He's going to get it back on the left. Big swing, but nicely handled by Moses, and he'll dump it over. Good battle here by the Dominican Republic. And now to the right side, Arthur Schwartz, and he just goes straight over the top. Moses calling that one out of bounds, but we have a perfect look here, and so did that linesperson. That one was in.
Yeah, I thought that ball was right on the sideline.
And it's interesting here, the Dominican players are shaking their heads like it's out of bounds, and their coach is kind of telling them otherwise. He's standing right there with the perfect view. Another tough serve there by Hogue. That's going to be an inside set to Tapia. Oh, and he did much better. He delayed his swing a little bit, turned it inside. As the Canadian hands were falling, he was able to chip it through the block. That's a veteran shot there by Henry Tapia, and that's why he's one of the best scorers in NORCECA.
Finally, the Dominican Republic gets out of rotation 1, and right off the jump in set number 2, they are down by 5. What can Hector Cruz do here from the service line?
Nicely handled there by Justin Louis, and oh, that cross-body shot by Danny Demyanenko, and that's a shot I've seen him make maybe 1,000 times, maybe not quite, but I do remember scouting against him when he was playing for Crush Volleyball Club, just from Scarborough, Ontario, and doing his shot chart. He had literally every shot in his disposal, and that's still the case here as he goes back to serve easily at Cruz. And Lopez looking for some hands, and it looks like none given, no flags up, no calls being made. Lopez still looking for the touch call, and this is one thing that I found from the women's tournament with no challenge system. There's a lot of talking to the refs. I found the Cuban women were really, really bad at that, and they couldn't handle their emotions. And that was one thing the Dominicans women did much better from pool play to the playoffs, where they stopped really caring about the non-calls, the non-touches, and really just started playing the game. And I think that's what the Dominican men need to do here as well, not look for those touches. If you want to get the touch call, make it obvious. Outside now to Mar.
Wow.
Oh, such good vision there.
That is gorgeous. That is a really pretty shot from Stephen Marr, painting the sideline down the line.
The Aurora, Ontario native, playing in Monza, Italy, and just absolutely beautiful. He's known for being a high-powered outside, and that time showing his skill with the chop down the line.
You mentioned Marr playing in Monza. He's been playing in the Italian league for quite a long time, and funny enough, when he's not swinging, when he's giving a call to one of his other attackers on what shot he wants to hit or how many blockers are up in front of him, he gives those calls in Italian. You'll hear him call the number of blockers in front of his teammates in Italian. As a Canadian guy, very interesting. That is another ace serve by Canada. That one, Danny Demyanenko right in the seam. It is 10-1, Everett. 10-1.
That's just, I mean, this is, as you said, this is two teams with very different goals here for this tournament. But, you know, back to Marr played his first season in the Italian league for Padova. Actually, there was a kid standing right beside our
I saw a Padova jersey earlier.
Padova jersey. He was a top 10 scorer there and has played only 1 year outside of Italy, going back to the 2019-2020 COVID season where he played for Dynamo Moscow in the Russian league.
You mentioned Danny Demyanenko's Canada Crush team earlier. I had the pleasure of playing against that team.
Or the displeasure.
And the intense displeasure of getting just stomped by Danny, Stephen Marr, a bunch of other future national team guys. Yeah, they came down to Chicago, played a qualifier in early 2012, and won it easily, didn't accept the bid, and ran up right back north of the border. Good times.
Yeah, pretty classic. They also, that same team also went down and played the SoCal tournament.
Also won that one.
And won that one as well. It's funny, we got Bruno Lozzi in the chat, who was the best player on my Auto Mavericks team that year, who lost to that Crush team 2-1 in the Ontario semifinals in the 18U level.
This is ancient history we're talking about. We got NORCECA volleyball happening right in front of us.
Nice block there, and it's going to be outside to Lopez. Nicely picked up by Marr. Now here's Schwartz off the block. And oh, Stephen Marr faked him out. Looked like he was going to recycle that one and just snap the wrist down. Absolutely beautiful.
Right place, right time. I really like that swing from Arthur Schwartz that set up that block touch that happened to land right in Marr's wheelhouse. But I like that swing from Schwartz because the ball, like the set, was so far inside, and Schwartz did an outstanding job getting his feet to the ball. That's a tricky skill for relatively new opposites. Get his feet, get his body in position to take a good swing, and he did there. And we have 2 substitutions on the Dominican Republic side. Adrian Figueroa, number 6, is in at opposite. And Wilfredo Hernandez, who started the match at outside hitter, is back at outside hitter, this time in for Hector Cruz. So some wholesale changes here for Coach Jose Gutierrez, down by 10.
Another heater there by Demianenko. And oh, a miscommunication there. Arredondo not able to find his middle hitter, Rosario. 12-1 now for Team Canada as Danny Demianenko continues to serve, and that's what's most impressive. Canada doing all of this without a libero on their side of the court. You know, typically we don't usually like to let middle serve. Demianenko showing us otherwise here.
Let's see if he can dig a ball. Oh, that is not out by much, but I think out of bounds is a good call.
Chris Smeaton, maybe in a little bit. And ball put in play there by Rosario. Her is going to give it to Marr, and oh, I thought that one was almost a block there for the Dominican Republic as he blasted through the hands of Ortiz. And Moses Ortiz, only 19 years of age. It's his first time that I've seen him for the Dominican Republic. Looks like he's quite new to volleyball, but that's a size that Dominican doesn't really have on their team as Arthur Schwartz puts that one in. Now right side to Figueroa, and that's picked up now again by Cruz. And that dig by Hogue just not quite enough. That's a couple of points here for Dominican. They're back on the board.
Good swing there from Henry Lopez, and our first look at Adrian Figueroa, the lefty, back up opposite from the service line here.
Easily handled by Hogue. Tight set, and Lucas Van Berkel just swinging away.
Nice grab there by Luke Herr. Got up as tight as he could reasonably. Got 2 hands on that ball and gave it to Van Berkel as we have our first look, Everett. It's been a while since we've seen him, but he is back. Number 80 in white, Eric Lepke, in for the Maple Volleys at outside hitter for Nick Hogue.
Yeah, did not play in this year's VNL. Was dealing with a bit of an illness. And now it's the first time that we see the former Trinity Western Spartan here for Team Canada, and that one is going to be an ace. Hernandez calling that one out, and you know, he didn't even watch that ball. Like he didn't see that ball hit the court. He was already calling it out. Not entirely sure why there, but
that's a lot of, not only does Canada have a lot of aces at this point, a lot of untouched aces, just like watched as they hit the baselines.
Tight pass there, and oh, the delay. Canada keeps it alive there. Now Schwartz on the right side. That one is phased out of bounds, and that may be like the first type of bad error we've seen from Canada today. Would have liked to see Schwartz just put it in play. You know, just go to the long angle, keep the play going.
Just not great hand contact. That's okay. I'm looking at Canada's serving numbers right now. 5 aces to only 6 errors. That is an excellent ratio.
Would love to see them keep that up throughout the rest of this tournament and throughout the course of the next month as well. That's a tight one there for Eric Lepke.
How did Lepke do that?
And
Whoa.
You know what? I guarantee you he was not expecting to score his first point of the summer for Team Canada in that fashion. That was hilarious.
And you know, last second joust win.
It just shows if you push second, you're going to win the ball, and that's exactly what Lepke did on that one.
You got to wait about a year and a half after the first touch to push, and you can still win it.
Wearing number 80 and honoring Jerry Rice. That's what he told me. I don't know if that's actually the case, but that's what he told me today. Now he's going to get it back, and the first swing that he gets isn't even a real swing again. He just throws that one down, and He's amongst the best in the world at doing that. Up there with TJ DeFalco, with the Slivkas, with the Kroliks. He's really has such an arsenal of shots.
If he sees space between the blockers, he's going to throw it straight down through him.
Absolutely.
Nothing you can do about it. Okay.
Okay, there we go. Figueroa on the right side there. Interesting, no Tapia, as he's been pretty much silent so far in this match. Henry Tapia with only that 1 point, as now Ortiz has back to serve.
Already had a standing float service ace earlier in that match. Then, oh my goodness, is that two? Two standing float service aces?
Wow.
What year is this?
What is going on there?
Look at him. Ortiz is smiling, laughing about it, shaking his head. Low-key, though, that's actually a really good serve because he's so tall, he can hit it at a pretty nasty angle.
That thing wiggles.
Yeah, it's got some good float service movement on it.
Wow.
Speaking of things that move.
Arthur Schwartz. He makes the ball move real fast as that one finds the court in a hurry.
Can you believe that guy was playing middle blocker for Canada at the Olympics just 2 years ago? A lot has changed since then.
Oh, and that is going to be a back row violation, unfortunately, on Hernandez. 19-6 so far for Canada. And now her back to serve. High ball out to Hernandez. That's nicely slowed down, tracked down by Louis. Now just to Demyanenko. And Rosario was there, but it hit his arms and fell onto his own side.
20-6. This is not exactly what I was expecting, Everett. We do have the potential for some lopsided matchups in pool play, but expected a little bit more competition here.
Wow. Eric Lepke with his second block already so far in this match, and that one was huge. I got to give it to Figueroa, though. He has a whip and swings hard on that right side.
Shout out to Rob Aspero, our in-arena announcer. That was, in fact, a monster block. Good call.
Whoa, there we go. Luke Kerr.
Look at Luke Kerr letting it fly a little bit.
Absolutely just ripping on that one. And that's what we want to see. Build some confidence now when you can and unleash it later in the week.
6 aces to only 6 service errors for Canada at this point.
Now Hernandez on what was almost an A ball. As he heads back to serve now.
Good shot off the block and out of bounds.
Yeah, Wilfredo Hernandez, 32 years of age.
Oh, they weren't sure whose turn to serve it was, and they actually got away with it. And now they can leave a wide open net for Stephen Marr out of the back row. That is
just, and you know what? It's situations like that where you really see the difference in tiers between these two teams. It's just that awareness on the court that the Dominican doesn't necessarily have. As Eric Lepke continues to serve, takes a good cut at that one. Outside to Figueroa.
Ooh, head block.
Oh, wow.
That is right off the top of the dome of Arthur Schwartz.
You know what? When you're 6'10" like that, it's usually tough to go against those shorter guys. And Figueroa, he's got such a fast arm swing. He's jumping a little bit later on that.
Everett, I always say that if you get hit in the head on the block, that means you're in exactly the right spot.
Yeah.
It goes right between your arms.
Hernandez takes good chuck, easily handled by Louis. Now to the pipe, no one home. Lepke puts it away. That will bring us to set point Canada. And
I love that set choice from Luke Kerr. Absolutely nobody up. Excellent pass by Louis. And in volleyball these days, you pass the ball well, you have mismatches. 4 attackers against 3 blockers at most. And we get Jordan Schnitzer in here in the middle blocker spot off the bench to block against set point. And Stephen Marr, the new floor captain. Danny Demyanenko has served well, serving for the set. It's 24-8.
Nice pass there, and it's going to go right side to Figueroa.
Schnitzer.
He's 1 for 1 in his points played ratio right now.
Pretty good ratio. Yeah, Schnitzer out of Trinity Western comes in to seal the set with a stuff block. It is 2-0 Canada in convincing fashion.
That's a stat I'd like to see. Points earned per points played.
Per points participated in.
Absolutely. I wish we had something like that. I want to know how many points a player is playing for their team.
Everett, look at this. Total score through 2 sets.
Oh, wow.
50-19. 25-11, 25-8.
That's definitely a tough one. I mean, the worst I've seen so far was, as I said, that first, actually game 1 week ago exactly in Quebec City between the United States and Costa Rica. Costa Rica scored a total of 21 points in that match. So Dominican does need to score 2 points just to beat that total, but so far not looking great from the Dominican Republic. You know what? One of the changes that I've seen from this team is typically I've seen Bismael Almonte, number 12, as a libero. And to me, in the few times that I've seen him play, especially in last year's Pan Am Cup, he was one of those key players that I really enjoyed watching. And I really thought like he passed well, he kept the balls alive on defense, he brought good energy to the court, and now they no longer have him on that position. He's just on the bench, and I'm wondering if they're missing some of that energy there.
So here's a question from Canada's perspective, Everett. With the Olympic qualifiers coming up, there's sort of a balance you've got to strike in that tournament and in this tournament, because for Olympic qualifiers, you're going to be playing 7 matches in 9 days. Mm-hmm. To play 7 matches in 9 days, you have to be able to use your bench. There's no way you can play your starting 7 in 7 matches in 9 days. That's just too much. So where is the line for Tomas Somelvuo on, okay, he's played his starters for 2 sets. He's gotten them a bit of rhythm. He's gotten them some touches together. Now, when or if can he get some of his other players in off the bench that he will need as Canada plays the Olympic qualifiers in a couple weeks? There's a balance there that all these teams are going to try and find. It looks like he's still talking to kind of the guys who just finished that set. So Schnitzer and Lepke might be starting this 3rd set, but other than that, it looks like the same group, at least for now. I'm curious on how how a coach handles that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think you're going to need to get some of these guys in. I would like to see Jordan Canham. Would have liked to see maybe Jordan Canham start this set at the same time. You want to help Arthur Schwartz create some rhythm. I think we're going to see, let's see, it looks like Schnitzer's going to start, and as is Eric Lepke. So that's going to be important there. So right there, that's 2 guys. Would really like to see Sam Cooper come off the bench here in the 3rd set, just for a swing or 2. They're getting ready now for the 3rd set.
And checking out the Dominican Republic lineup. Looks like Adrian Figueroa still in at opposite. Outside the hitters will be Hernandez
and Lopez once again.
And Lopez, right? So Cruz starts on the bench.
As does Tapia. And now Schwartz getting the first set, and that one unable to be picked up. Just a high, hard swing by the opposite out of Toronto.
That is a mismatch. Arthur Schwartz against a 1-meter-88 blocker in front of him.
And Herr managed to get him pick himself up an ace here in the last set. Let's see if he picks up where he left off, and he does. Pins that one quite nicely. And Ortiz, nicely picked up by Herr. Can Schwartz keep it alive? He does.
Wow.
Great job there by Canada. Outside to Figueroa. Oh, and he kicked that one.
That's
it's still alive. Oh, nicely handled. Now out of system, but more in system. Here's Lepke. Got a good little rally. Figueroa. Oh, and that one is just out of bounds.
Oh, my goodness. That would have been an all-time point if Canada had won it.
You pointed that one in. I saw it out.
Wow.
You know when I'm calling it out on Canada, too, that it's going to be it's going to be actually out.
That was ridiculous. 2 balls that went through Danny Demyanenko's block that he was somehow able to scoop and keep alive, including a heck of a save from Schwartz and a kick save in there somewhere.
Lopez now serving with a little chopper. Danny Demyanenko on the 31, going off the hands of Ortiz, and he's up early And he knows Ortiz is bigger than him, but he knows that it's a mismatch for him in the middle. And as long as that mismatch is there, you know Her's going to find it.
Yeah, especially with the dynamic nature of the routes that Canada can run in the middle to create separation. Beautiful.
Oh.
Huge block.
Canada just continues to shut the door. 9 blocks so far in this match. None for the Dominican Republic, and only 1 hitting error so far.
Those are pretty clean numbers.
This is given the competition in front of them, and I'm not really going to talk about the score so much for Canada at the moment, but the way they're doing it, very efficient, very clean, not making many errors, not making those dumb mistakes, no lapses in judgment. So doing a much better job overall. But in that one, it's interesting. Semenevuo not happy with the set. Obviously, the set there by her, obviously happy with the result, but immediately calling Luke Her over to give him some type of instruction as Lepke takes another chew at that serve, and that one is going to be long by Hernandez. 5-1 Canada.
Not good hand contact, did not quite get the fingertips of the block. Already some service variety here from Lepke, and we saw that left-handed tip down the line by Mar 2 points ago. Wonder if he learned that one from Lepke himself.
Oh, another great serve. The tail on that is just beautiful by Lepke. Oh, my goodness. Shut down was Figueroa by Danny Demyanenko. And you know what?
Danny's trying to end people's careers before they even get off the ground, man. You got to be nice to some kids out here.
He's been doing that for a long time.
That was nasty. That was like just textbook perfect hand positioning.
And you know, I will say Figueroa does have quite a whip of a swing. It is quite fast. So when you swing hard, you get blocked hard. But that was an excellent swing there by Figueroa on the right side to cut that one inside the block. Want to see him do that a few more times.
Love the repeat set. Go right back to a hitter after he's been blocked, and I really like the range. Really like the range. Actually, Ortiz has been Dominican Republic's best server so far with the standing floater.
He has been. It moves a lot.
Speaking of range.
And I'm not going to say that one moves a lot. It just moves real fast. That 4-4 shot there by Steven Mar is outstanding. But yeah, Ortiz's serve, maybe it's the currents in here at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center, but it moves quite a bit. It floats around.
Demyanenko has served well. It's another good one.
Now, Hernandez.
Oh, look at Danny. Look at him digging that ball.
Great one-hand dig. And then Schwartz puts it away off the back chuck by Steven Mar.
Sick. Yeah, Danny, we got that highlight for you. We got that dig highlight for you, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
One-handed flipper. That was awesome.
The all-Ontario connection there. Gotta love to see it.
Hey, Everett, where are you from again?
Technically Manitoba.
Here's Danny again. He went on a good service run before, and I was wondering if he could dig a ball. We just got that answer.
Danny Demyanenko, actually quite an accomplished beach player growing up, represented Canada a number of times at the junior and youth level, and Schnitzer and Mar with nowhere to go for Figueroa on that one. And right now, I think Dominican is just praying for this one to end sometime soon.
It is 9-2 in a 2-0 lead. We could be looking, so what is it right now? 3:48. And the Dominican Republic huddling on the middle of their side. Not exactly sure why.
Looks like Lopez was maybe hit in the face with something. Looks like he's struggling in some way, shape, or form.
Well, okay, I think he might have taken that ball off the block into his face, which means he was in the right spot to cover it. Really, if you get hit in the face in volleyball, it means you're doing something right.
Oh,
beautiful
great dig.
scoop.
And they're going to do it again now. Hernandez.
Oh. Schnitzer again. Is that 3 blocks for Schnitzer in like 3 attempts?
I think so. And now we're seeing it. The young gun out of Hamilton, Ontario, Sam Cooper, heading to play his first year at Zavierci, but his debut for the Senior A team will be delayed a little bit. or I guess it's not his debut. He did play VNL. I apologize. But his debut here at the NORCECA Championships will be delayed as the Dominican calls a timeout.
Yeah, Sam Cooper gets the nod at 4th outside hitter for Canada over the likes of Brody Hofer and Matthias Elser. A very deep, very young group at that position for Canada. But Cooper, like you said, Everett, had an incredible performance against Poland in this summer's VNL, which very well may have gotten him his first pro contract.
He actually signed it the day before.
That's incredible.
He signed his contract and then went ham against Poland. It was a 3-0 loss for Canada, but it was most of the younger guys on the roster, Simon Vlo opting to rest some of the starters.
Which was a smart play in the scheme of the tournament.
Absolutely, it was.
So here is Sam Cooper, number 13 in white, 22 years of age, 2 meters out of McMaster. And he's immediately into the front court. Let's see what he's got.
Danny Dominican has been unreal from the baseline so far in this match with an ace. 9 points so far. Goes after Hernandez, and at least it's up.
Oh, wow.
Figueroa.
Langle. Nice shot.
And you know what? Given that he's a lefty, I didn't really think he had that shot, and I don't think Sam Cooper thought he had that shot either, given where that block was placed. But he was really able to stretch his body outside of the block and put it down. And I'll give kudos to Figueroa on that one. That was a great shot. Good try, nicely tracked down there by Louis. Jordan Schnitzer, and Schnitzer is a guy who can hang. He has that international height at which he plays with. He had a great year for Lundberg in the Bundesliga. They got picked up even a win over Modena in the CEV Cup, and Schnitzer was a big reason for that.
Dude, I thought that set from her might have been too high. And all of a sudden Schnitzer got on top of it.
That's one of the things with Jordan Schnitzer. He plays at a high level. And you know what? For me on my radar, it was really only 2 years ago that he really started to come under my radar with the Trinity Western Spartans, and then played last summer with the B team and was a huge part of that second place finish for Team Canada at the Pan Am Cup before playing his first season of pro. And Cooper's first ball is nicely handled. He'll get it back on the outside, and just a nice calm swing down the line there. Gotta love it by Sam Cooper.
Real nice. And now we get a chance to see him serve. You've talked about him having international pace, which is something you can't teach. You've either got it or you don't in terms of arm talent. And let's see what Cooper can add to the ace tally for Canada right here.
His kinetic chain when he serves, and you'll see it right here, his ability to really spring through the ball. That wasn't really a big one as he puts it in at, say, 75%. Oh!
Good effort. That ball is down. A good high swing through a triple block there.
I think that I actually really like that touch there by Arthur Schwartz on defense. It goes through the block, just kind of squeaks through. He's able to get it up, and Louis was just a hair away.
Yeah, that's a very difficult ball to even touch.
Schwartz just going right after that block, and Lopez may not even be in his field of vision down there, so he just needs to swing at that block, and he'll be having a good time.
That is not a bad block touch by Henry Lopez. There's just not that much more he can do. And another substitution, our fourth middle block that we're going to see, Pearson Ashenko, number 1 in white for Canada, in for Demyanenko.
That one unfortunately finds its way into the net for Schnitzer. 8 errors for Canada on the baseline, but 6 aces makes it all better. That's a fantastic ratio for the Maple Volleys early on here in this tournament, as they'll be they are expected to take Pool A, but you got to do it first, and they are well on their way here. And,
beautiful.
That's a tough one. It seems to me that Moises was almost not ready. Like it almost seemed to surprise him as it went through his arms right into his breadbasket.
Excellent high angle cut by Eric Lepke against 3 blockers.
Now her just going straight down the middle to 6, and
wow.
Ortiz, wow, that man reaches. That man absolutely reaches.
Yeah, he was up there.
Not much pace on that swing.
Doesn't matter.
But he's putting it down.
See what Lopez can do here from the service line.
Just straight up there by Louis. Eric Lepke is just going to chuck that to the outside.
Nice touch.
Good job. Nicely handled by her. And a bit of miscommunication there from Canada. One of the first instances we've seen as her took that first ball. And now Figueroa on the right side wipes that one off the block of Arthur Schwartz. And Arthur Schwartz and Eric Lepke up there blocking together will be teammates in Monza this year.
That might be the first break point Dominican Republic has scored maybe the whole match. And like a point they legitimately earned. They got a swing in transition, put it away. And we know that Canada works a lot on their high ball attacking. We got a couple chances to see it there on that play. Good play by Ashenko.
Nicely picked up on the dribble and just tipped over. I thought that one was up, but the head referee is right there in the perfect position to make the right call. 15-8 here for Canada.
Really are seeing every one of Eric Lepke's tools in the offensive toolbox.
If you're a young player at home, watch him. Watch guys like TJ DeFalco, guys who are maybe a little bit undersized. Well, I wouldn't call Lepke undersized, but
wouldn't call DeFalco undersized either.
You're right, but guys who they bring a different arsenal of shots into the game. And yes, they can pound the ball with the best of them. Trust me, they can. But it makes it all the better when they have the tips, when they have the rolls, when they have the deception shots. We still haven't seen the Eric Lepke swing with the right, tip with the left.
That's his patented move, and that and like the TJ DeFalco roll shot are some of the nastiest off speed in the game.
The one clip that's going viral right now on social media with TJ DeFalco is him hitting the pipe with the back of his hand.
Oh yeah, that is a 4 contacts, double contact. Okay, Hernandez was blocked into himself and then slapped it up with his arm in 2 distinct motions. So that's the reason for that call. Yeah, we'll talk about TJ and the backhanded thing later on when the United States play. I do see Cuba is in the house in the back of your camera view there. They play up next against the reigning champions in Puerto Rico, which a lot of people forget.
Nicely slowed down there by Schnitzer, who's done a great job coming in here in this third set. Now Cooper looking for the touch.
Ooh, yes, that ball was touched.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I thought I saw the touch. I wonder if that was detected by a line judge or if that was good sportsmanship.
It looked like to me it was like the down ref who made the call.
Okay.
Because the Dominican guys are still shaking their head no, even though their coach is shaking his head yes.
No green cards at this tournament, like admitting to any calls. With no challenge system in play, it's kind of back to the old days as far as minute touches go. Good move on defense.
Cooper, that one was a little bit high. The timing not necessarily there. But Sam Cooper doing a good job with his left hand as the Cuban boys are rocking in beside us right now. I wonder if I can,
position 6 defense there by Eric Lepke as well.
I wonder if I can make friends with Herrera again.
I think that can be arranged.
Right side Shuck there.
Wow.
Canada just continues to shut the door. I think that may be double-digit blocks for the Canadians, and it is 14. Wow.
Timeout, Dominican Republic, their second. I think it's their second.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're really just delaying the inevitable, right? You're really just delaying. But as we talked about, their preparation is for the other games. Like their big match in this pool will be against Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico on Thursday.
To play that third place team.
Right.
You don't want to play the second place team from Pool B because it's going to be either U.S. or Cuba potentially. So their big match will be on Thursday afternoon at 5 p.m.
Dominican Republic does have tomorrow off. Canada back in action tomorrow against Mexico, who has today off. Mexico, the only team we won't see today.
Now Ashenko back to serve. Also played for the aforementioned Moonberg.
I think he's going to Portugal this year, if I saw that correctly.
Yeah, he's going to Sporting.
Good dig by Lepke again.
2 plays in a row there by Lepke, and now Cooper.
Yep.
Those are almost 2 different plays, but almost the same. Dig by Lepke, left-handed tip by Cooper. 20-9 now for Team Canada, and they're going to want to care of this one early. You know, it's funny enough, Rob, they actually had quite an adventure getting here. They were delayed coming out of Ottawa, where the national team is based. They missed their connection in Washington. United ended up paying for a bus for them to drive from Washington, D.C. to Charleston. However, if anyone is familiar of driving in this area, it's very, very hilly, very mountainy. From what I was told, they're not entirely sure if their bus driver had ever driven a bus before, and they may have even had to stop for a couple of players to feel better. Let's say, on the windy roads of West Virginia. So a 5-hour bus ride took 7.5 for the Maple Volleys here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is an adventure.
But they do want to say thank you to United for taking care of their bus, and United paid for the bus themselves, and they were able to get here on time, and you know, none the wiser. Ooh. That one was real close by Figueroa.
That is a heck of a travel story. That definitely certainly beats all of my travel adventures at international volleyball events this year.
Another pin there by Schwartz, and Luke Herr will shut the door, but a recycle here for the Dominican. Then tip down the line. Oh.
Yeah, that ball's touched by Herr's fingertips. Plus, oh, never mind.
They're going to call it a net violation there.
Wow.
For Dominican, because that was clearly the execution was point for Dominican, result point Canada.
Yeah, I think the Dominican Republic touched the bottom of the net before the ball was down. That's the key. But ball never lies, I suppose.
Nice grab by our ball guy here. Got to give him a shout. Was holding one ball, caught it with the other. Someone draft this man.
Respect.
If there was like an NFL version of like the Lakers need a center. You haven't heard that audio. You're not on TikTok.
That's a good swing there, Schnitzer.
Love the way that Herr has involved Schnitzer into the offense here early. Same thing with Cooper. And
match point chance.
Match point. Spin to win here for Cooper. One day, I would just love to see someone in indoor volleyball hit a sky ball for match point.
That would be electric.
Sometimes.
Maybe this could be it.
Oh, and
not a bad look.
I was hoping for the spin to win there from Cooper.
So it is Luther Rosario, the middle blocker for the Dominican Republic, who represents their last chance. It's 12 serving 24. Herr, the front court setter, getting one side out for Canada's first win for the tournament.
Nicely recycled there. Now Lepke with another shot. And that one is going to be called touch, and that is game to Canada. They take the third, 25-12, and improve for a record of 1-0 so far in this tournament. Game one of the 2023 NORCECA Men's Continental Championship here in West Virginia is done. 3-0 for Canada.
Perfect start for the Maple Volleys, executing on their own side. Good blocking, good service pressure. And they never really looked back. They didn't fall asleep at the wheel, so to speak. That was a very impressive performance. Got a couple different guys a little bit of action as well. So congratulations to Canada on starting off the NORCECA Championship with a win. They will take on Mexico tomorrow. Dominican Republic, after this loss, has tomorrow off to prepare for Mexico on Thursday. Coming up next at 5 p.m. Eastern, about an hour from right now, Cuba will take on the defending champions from Puerto Rico.
And we weren't quite an hour in shower.
Pretty close.
62 minutes.
Pretty close.
62 minutes. And we said we wouldn't be seeing Mexico today, but you lied to us, Rob, because they're right here beside us.
That's true. Mexico is in the house scouting out this match they just saw. They're two future opponents in this pool.
Do we have it set up to be able to do an interview live here?
I believe we do. If we want to get someone over on this third headset, I think we can do that.
Who do we want to grab here?
How about Luke Herr?
Yeah, let's grab Luke. Let's grab Luke for the first one.
Can you go do that?
Yeah.
I can hold it down.
Yeah,
on the mic
you
here.
hold it down. You're great at talking.
Yeah, we will get our third headset ready to go. Good win for Canada. I'm impressed. I like the level that they brought. I like how they kept their foot on the gas. I like the service game. Let me take a look at the final stats here. Oh my goodness, 15 blocks for Canada to 0 for the Dominican Republic. 38 for 59 was Canada overall, attacking with only 1 error, which is incredible. And 6 aces to only 11 service errors, so better than 1 to 2 ace to error ratio. That is very, very impressive overall when you add all those numbers up. You're gonna win a lot of matches that way. So congratulations to Canada. They will be back in action tomorrow. Dominican Republic has a day off to prepare for Mexico on Thursday. Coming up next, Cuba versus Puerto Rico before the United States versus Suriname later tonight.
And we are back now with Luke Herr of Team Canada. I don't think we can do it on the screen.
No, we can.
Oh, we can.
You just got to switch the button back, but give me a second.
Oh, okay. As we're slowly getting things set up here. So it's our first match of the day.
There we go.
First match of the tournament. We're figuring out the flow a little bit.
All right, I think we're live. Luke, can you do a check for us?
Check 1 2 1 2. I can't hear you guys in the headset.
No. How about now?
Yeah, there.
Oh.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Nice,
Awesome.
Nicely done. You sound great, and you look great out there. Very good match.
Thank you.
So against a team like the Dominican Republic, who I assume you guys probably don't know all that much about, how long does it take to kind of establish what you and your team are doing that day and maybe look at stopping what's going on the other side of the net, or does that not really happen in a match like this?
Yeah, it definitely happens. We had our video session earlier, and we wanted to focus on our side. We've been practicing now for a while after the break, after VNL, so we're ready to get back on the court and just focusing on ourselves and what we can do best. And yeah.
Do you have some type of rule for yourself that if a left side pins a nice serve and gets the overpass, you're going to give it right back to him? Because you did that a few times tonight. Overpass, give it right back to the pipe.
Yeah, I like to reward my hitters.
I love that.
Especially today if they're passing well, and I like to give the ball back to them and let them score, let them show off a little bit. So that was, yeah.
How does it feel to be back in the gym after quite a long training block after VNL?
Yeah, it feels really good. I feel a lot more comfortable with the guys after all that training together and after VNL especially. And yeah, we're just itching to get back on the court, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be here in the U.S. and playing again.
So this is a pretty crazy couple weeks of volleyball for all the national teams looking for Olympic qualification, because everyone's playing their Continental Championships right about now, then a very, very quick turnaround towards Olympic quals. What are your team's goals, both in process and in result, for the next month or so?
Yeah, so we're just taking it day by day, week by week. So yeah, we talked about it. We're not focusing on the Olympic qualifiers at all or any preparation for that. We're just focusing on what we can do every game. First game today, knocked her down, and yeah, tomorrow we'll focus on tomorrow, and we're just going to take it day by day and not think too much about the future and what we have to do.
Looking back a little bit, how was the bus ride in? I've heard some stories about this bus ride in. We actually had a few people in the chat be like, I've done that ride in a car. It's hard enough in a car. Wouldn't be great in a bus.
Yeah, I don't know the route we took. I don't think we took the highway. I think we took some back roads. It was rough coming over. Some guys were feeling a little car sick, so we were happy. We thought we were going to get here sooner than the flight, because it was supposed to be quick, but then we took some roads and stopped, and it was interesting, but we made it, so that's the most important.
Country roads take me home, baby. Let's go. This is West Virginia.
Yeah, ever dropped that story on us there in the third set on the broadcast? I had no idea any of that happened, so that was pretty fun.
I went and talked over to some of the Canadian parents before they were telling me, so I got a bit of gut showed how things are going as just before we started the match here.
Things are going with the W. I was very impressed. You want to look at some of these numbers? 15 blocks, Luke, to 0. Yeah. 6 aces to 11 errors on your team. Yeah. Your team 38 for 59 attacking with only 1 error. That's way over 50% efficiency. That reflects pretty well on you running the offense.
Yeah, and also reflects on how easy it is to find the hitters. Like I was saying, I'm feeling more comfortable with the guys after that big training block. So I've had more time to train with them and get a good connection with all of them. So it's feeling a lot smoother out there than it was during VNL, and hopefully just the more game reps we get together, the better feeling. It'll just keep going.
Yeah, great. Looks like Captain Nick Hogue just brought over your bag here, so you don't have to...
Getting the shoulder back a little bit, the bands are helping out a lot.
Yeah, I saw it. You ripped an ace in this one. There we go.
Yeah.
Starting to unlock a little bit of speed on that serve.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Bombing a little bit more. Yeah.
Attaboy.
All right. Well, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to back home?
I think my girlfriend is watching, Lisa. If you're in the chat, I don't know if if you guys are on YouTube or Twitch, she might be there. So shout out Lisa. Love you very much. Thank you for watching. And my parents, mom and dad, I think they're watching also. So a lot of support from back home.
Love it. We thank everyone a lot for watching the streams. We're going to get a lot more production going on, more cameras. We'll get some cameras on Luke and Everett and I later on, but we appreciate all you guys watching. Luke, thanks for the time. Great match, buddy.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, buddy.
Have some good prep for Mexico tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, that'll be it for match number 1 here of the 2023 Men's NORCECA Continental Championship from West Virginia, and we will be back in just under an hour for match number 2 between Puerto Rico and Cuba.
We'll see you then. Thanks for watching, people.